Welcome to you, Tom. Thank you so much for joining us. We've just been listening to Larry Summers, who had a chat with Christia yesterday. How critical deficit reduction is, but that it probably should not be the top priority. It is your top priority this year, deficit reduction. Am I right in saying that?
No, I think our top priority is jobs and growth. If we don't get some economic growth, we don't put 23 million people back to full-time work, we are in serious trouble in the United States going forward. To get that done, in part, you have to get deficits under control. You don't have to eliminate them, but in the first quarter of the government's fiscal year, they're back on more than $1 trillion a year deficit. You add that up for another 4 years, you're going to get a $5 trillion addition to the debt. We have to deal with deficits, we have to deal with debt, but you fundamentally at the same time have to deal with jobs and growth. If you don't put people to work in the US and in Europe and other places, we're going to have a very difficult road to follow.
What is your read, Mr. Donoghue, of the Beltway politics around this? You know, we've seen, we saw the fiscal cliff, kind of went over, but not for very long. I felt like that sort of roadrunner thing, sort of going off the cliff but not falling. Then we had the debt ceiling. Already we didn't even get to we didn't have that last minute brinksmanship already pushed into the future. Is this going to be a series of sort of rolling 3-month deadlines? Is there going to be a deal?
Well, I think there is difficulty in the United States in getting a big deal. But I think the sequence that the Republican House put together, and which others will accept, of agreeing that we have to extend the debt, but doing it for a period of time so that we can then deal with sequestration and getting a budget for the country. The Senate of the United States hasn't voted on a budget in the last 3 years. So what they did is they took care of the ability to get the money to run the government for a while. Now they're going to try and get some cost reduction to go along with the massive amount of taxes that the government has already acquired.
Do they have what it takes? Are they courageous enough to get this done? What is your personal view?
My personal view that necessity is the mother of invention. And the Republicans understand that the administration and the opposition party would like to take over the House in 2014. In fact, that's a sort of a religion with them. And they recognize that they're going to have to organize themselves to act in a rational way, in a difficult way, to avoid that. So we have politics, we have economics, and we have the fundamental realities of jobs and growth.
So, Mr. Donoghue, during the 2012 election campaign, something that I was really struck by was the intensity of business hostility towards President Obama. And what I heard from a lot of people, including people who had supported the president in 2008, people who were lifelong Democrats, was they felt shut out by this White House. They felt they were not listened to. There has been a big push by the White House since the election to bring business in. I hear from them all the time. They say, there are dozens of these guys. We meet with them every day. This is going to be a new business outreach, business-friendly administration. Is it working? Is that true?
Very quickly. The chamber does not do presidential politics because we operate all over the world. We're a global organization. But we're very involved in the political system in the House and the Senate. Yes, there was some dissatisfaction with the president, with some members of the business community. He got 2 million less votes in this election than he got in the last. But those kind of things happen in second terms. There is a concern in the business community about the president's agenda. Listen to the speech at the inauguration. We're all interested to see what he says at the State of the Union address. And of course they're bringing them in. The question is to do what? To listen, to speak, to have an effect, to be listened to. We'll see.
What's your read so far?
My read so far is that the president's message at the inauguration was pretty clear. He has a strong agenda. He plans to follow it.
I'm still not getting whether you believe the charm offensive is working or not.
And then maybe I'm doing a good job.
But getting back to the president's agenda in his inauguration speech, are you basically saying he has a strong agenda and it doesn't include us? It's about a different part of America?
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I think he has a strong agenda, and it doesn't include enough attention to real jobs and growth. I think it doesn't include enough attention to debts and deficits. I think some of his agenda we'll rally to. We want an immigration bill. We'll help that happen. We're going to encourage him vigorously to move forward on a trade agenda, including a U.S.-European issue, which we started the debate on, and we must do, because Europe has had its challenges coming back a little, but they're our largest export market, and China's largest export market. So in the interest of the global economy, we've got to do this European-U.S. Trade arrangement, and we have to do it soon. So there are things we think we can get the president involved in. There are issues we don't work on, and issues that others are more engaged in.
I mean, you talk about Europe and how critical that is, of course, to you, given the export market. What kind of meetings have you had in Davos with Europeans, the guys who make the decisions in Europe, about this issue, and what sense are you getting from them?
Well, first of all, we don't use Davos as the only place to meet with Europeans. We do it all over the world. We do it.
But you've got a lot of them in one place here.
Well, and we see a lot of them here. Well, look, the basic issue, everybody you talk to wants to do this. The question they ask me, and I think it's a legitimate one, when does the United States get off the dime? And I think after we get the inauguration's done, we do the State of the Union, we get a few of these other issues out of the way, and I think we'll begin the negotiation.
Very quickly to finish up, you called Jack Lew a tough dude. Are you happy with that nomination? Are you happy with the choice of Jack Lew?
Well, I think as Treasury Secretary, Jack has all the experience to deal with debt and deficits. And I think he is a tough dude, but they're the easiest people to deal with. And the second thing I would say, Jack will have to get some help over there on the complicated global financial issues, but he's always attracted good people.
Thomas, many thanks for coming in and talking with us.
Thank you very much.
It's been revealing as well, I've got to say. Thomas Donoghue from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I'm right in saying we've got to let you go now as well.
Yes, sadly.
I'm sorry to hear that, Christia. It's been great fun having you on the set. We've got to do this again. We really do. I know you've got to get off to a WEF session with Joe Stiglitz.
That's right.
Okay, we'll enjoy that. Thomas, many thanks to you as well.